Day 26, Honors Physics, Problem 24. They asked you to plot the graph, which we did. It's close to uniform acceleration, not completely uniform, but we're going to calculate in part A the average acceleration. You can see this line is, well, this data is not completely linear, but on average it's linear. The slope being the acceleration. If you wanted to, you could plug that all into your calculator and get a nice line with a calculated slope, but overall it's just as easy to do this. Delta V over T if you take the whole time period. So in this case, the total change in velocity is 25.28 meters per second in the 12-second time period. So you plug that in, and to 2 sig figs, that's 2.1 meters per second squared. That's the average acceleration over that 12 seconds. Now in part B, we're looking for the greatest average acceleration over a 1 second time interval. It's the same equation. A average is your delta V over your time, but for every 1 second interval from say 0 to 1 or 1 to 2, 2 to 3, it's going to be 1 second. So T is always going to be 1. So all we need to look for is the greatest delta V, and I can see that in the first second from 0 to 1. From 0 to 1, I have a 3.82 from 0 to 1 second. It's a 3.82 meter per second squared acceleration. And if you check any other interval, say from 1 to 2 seconds, I'll just do a couple of them, 1 to 2, it's 7.15 minus 3.82, which is 3.33 meters per second squared. And from 2 to 3 seconds, it's 10.02 minus 7.15 is 2.87 meters per second squared. They're always meters per second squared. But if you check all 12 of those intervals, the first two, in fact the first one from 0 to 1 is your answer, because everything else after that has an acceleration of less than 3, or an increase of less than 3 meters per second of speed. In fact, some of them are almost 0, and that's the question for part C. In which time intervals did the gear shifting probably occur? Well, that's when there was very little acceleration. I'm going to move over to the right side of the page here. For part C, you look for the smallest accelerations, either on the graph, where the graph takes little dips, and you can look at the graph. I think it's consistent with the chart as well. From 3 to 4 seconds, there's a small increase in speed. So you can see that barely, it's like 0.95 meters per second speed increase, or velocity increase over that 1 second. So from 3 to 4 seconds is the most probable gear shifting, and also I think from 8 to 9, or actually 9 to 10. 9 to 10 seconds, there's a small, no, 8 to 9. 8 to 9 seconds is another small increase in speed for that particular time period. So those are the most likely intervals in which the gear shifting occurred in the transmission for this car.